making me watch today is Eastern Promises, directed by Cronenberg. Is it Michael Cronenberg?
David.
Michael, David, Todd, who gives a shit?
My word for this movie is brutal.
Brutal. Jake?
I thought about that word. My word's basic. Yeah.
I think mine is gruesome.
Yeah.
Words.
The
Well,
violence.
except for Jake.
The violence. The violence stood out the most. That's certainly one thing about this movie.
The violence definitely stood out. There was like 3 pretty gruesome scenes in it, and one had a pee-pee in it.
Yeah. Probably my favorite.
Viggo Mortensen pee-pee. Aragorn pee-pee.
Oh yeah, that's who that was, huh?
Yeah. I feel like that's really the only thing I know Viggo Mortensen from. Well, no, he's done a couple other movies, but that's always what I think of is Lord of the Rings.
I mean, he's Aragorn. That's the dude he'll always be.
Yeah, because I think I saw the other Cronenberg Mortensen vehicle called A History of Violence.
History of Violence.
I remember watching that a while back. That was decent. I kind of liked it. I liked it a little bit more than this one. But and then there was another one called like Mr. Fantastic or something like that.
There's one called there's another
like a hippie dad.
Movie.
Oh,
there's another Cronenberg movie with him called A Dangerous Method. It's him and Michael Fassbender.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's that about?
I think it's about Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung like having like beef.
Oh, that sounds interesting. All right.
Interesting.
Captain Fantastic was the other one I was thinking of. Sorry.
What's that one about?
Captain Fantastic. He's like a hippie dad that like kind of like teaches his kids, like he like homeschools his kids. They're like, you know, living in the woods in the Pacific Northwest type thing. And I think something like his wife dies or his wife gets really sick, something along those lines. And then they have to kind of go back to society and like meet up with the family because his wife is sick.
And they
he also was in Green Book.
Family.
Probably. Oh yeah, Green Book's really good. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, Viggo.
Green Book is that
That was that. Well, he won Best
Morgan
Picture a couple
Freeman?
years ago. No, that was
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, Mahershala Ali.
He won Best Supporting Actor.
He did.
He's Blade now. He's the new Blade.
Did Viggo Mortensen get a nomination?
He did. He got nominated for that. I think he got nominated for Mr. Fantastic too, or Captain Fantastic.
Okay, I could definitely see him for. Yeah, Green Book won like Best Picture and shit. That did really well.
It did. It was good. Peter Farley directed Green Book.
I know.
Is he related to Kevin?
No, but there was the dude that did like Dumb and Dumber. The dude that wrote Dumb and Dumber wrote an Oscar, or one of the dudes that wrote Dumb and Dumber won an Oscar. Yeah. I mean, I guess the dude that did Anchorman also has an Oscar or has been nominated for Oscars. So
yeah, but Adam McKay is a great writer. That dude writes his ass off.
He does. He does great.
Dude, he went political hard.
Did he? Oh yeah, because
just like in his movies, he made The Other Guys, right? Which was like had kind of a message to it. And
he really leaned into it.
And then he like made Vice.
Yeah, I wasn't huge on Big Short, but it was decent. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't big on that, but that was pretty decent too. But Vice for sure.
He won an Oscar.
It's amazing. What a good. I wouldn't say transformation, but he made movies to make money and that were hilarious, and got him to a place where he can make movies and say what he wants to say.
Yeah. And then Succession's a great show.
Yeah. He was the head writer on SNL like the whole time Will Ferrell was there too.
Adam McKay was? I didn't even realize that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, shit, Adam McKay and Viggo Mortensen need to do a movie together.
Hey, shout out to Adam McKay.
All right. Well, Eastern Promise, let me tell you what this movie's about, so viewers can know.
Yes. Tell us about Eastern Promises.
Okay.
If you haven't seen this movie, damn it.
It's things in hospitals.
Start that again. Say that again.
I said this movie is about a midwife, which I didn't.
This is bad timing for the internet to start getting shitty, is when Schwartz is trying to explain the movie.
All right, someone else explain the goddamn movie.
Oh, I was ready for you to explain it.
I know, you probably have.
Yeah, but it keeps cutting out.
All right, try it one more time. Ready, go. It's about a midwife.
All right. The movie's about a midwife who gets inadvertently involved with the Russian mafia in London. It's about she delivers a baby to a young girl who turns out to be a prostitute / human trafficked girl by, like I said, the Russian gangsters. And she gets involved with it. And it's I like this movie a lot. I like it because it contains story with some really interesting, twisted characters and has to do with like dark side of things and how people look normal. Like that old dude looked like a guy who was respectable and running a business. And all of a sudden he's fucking Russian mafia, killing people, impregnating virgins, human trafficking people. That shit's pretty interesting to me. I mean, there were some really great visceral scenes in this movie. I think the scene where Viggo Mortensen gets jumped in the bathhouse was pretty fucking epic. It was awesome and violent and kind of in your face, which was fun. I mean, like you said, you see his scrotum a couple times. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I think this is a very enjoyable movie. I think it's a real well-made movie about a subject that you really don't see movies made about. Like, when's the last time you saw a Russian gangster movie? You know what I mean? Good acting. Thought it was really good acting. And David Cronenberg's a fucking legend. He's up there with David Lynch. Is just like a cult or oh my god, a cult or I can't say the word.
Auteur. Today, Junior.
Yeah. Today, Junior. I don't know what to do if you coach time, but I will. But yes, I'll do it. Anyway, I really like this movie. I think this goes really well as a bookend to History of Violence, or as a middle of History of Violence and the third movie they did, because they're all very different, but they all have to do with a lot of violent things and about people that are doing bad shit in broad daylight, but no one knows about it. Like that kind of shit's fun. I really like that stuff. Just you don't really see it doesn't seem like that, but it is. And you notice besides for the one scene where there's prostitutes in the movie where he makes Viggo Mortensen fuck him, there's no scenes of any trafficking whatsoever. There's no scenes of people buying anybody. There's no scenes of people. There's no scenes of the actual bad thing that happened in the movie. This movie's just about these people. It's like a couple weeks in the life of these fucking people that do these things. You know what I mean? And then you find out Viggo Mortensen is a fucking undercover. Was he a cop or what was the organization was he working for? I wasn't clear on that.
Yeah, some sort of government organization. Yeah. I wasn't exactly sure either, but it was some sort of government thing, for England.
And that was cool too. Like basically in the end, they almost like Sicario'd it, where he's like, "Yo, now this dude's gonna be the boss. I'm gonna run shit. We'll have our organization run the bad guys. Like it's like the perfect gig." My only part of the movie I didn't like was how fast that happened in the end. Like all of a sudden things just happened to where, okay, this is now how it is, and I was kind of confused by that a little bit. That's the one part
I was a little thrown by that too.
Rush.
Yeah,
I just didn't get it. I was like, when did this happen? But I liked the relationship. Like even Naomi Watts, like her character, like in a normal movie, like she would do something badass and like infiltrate them. But that wasn't what it was. She was this woman who really couldn't do shit, but she stood up for this fucking baby. And her uncle was great. Fucking, he was a real cocksucker. Like he was a great character. But he told her that she dated a black dude, so her baby died inside her. That was pretty fucking brutal. But you can't really say anything more brutal than that. Like you're racist and fucking talking about
the way he says it too. That's why your baby died inside you.
That came out of nowhere. Like, oh shit. But that also kind of gave us a reason what her motivation was, like why she cared so much. I guess she was a midwife too, but the fact that she had a miscarriage herself, like maybe she felt more responsible for that baby for that reason.
100%.
It's a good movie.
And I also like that she at the end got to keep the baby, and now she's a mom. Like she ended up great. She got involved, and now she's good.
Oh man, I saw that coming the whole time though. Like I knew from like the second they had that baby, I'm like, oh, well, she's gonna adopt that baby. And then something's gonna happen.
Sure.
What a bow! Even her uncle came back home.
Yeah.
They just tied that right up. But I guess he's the boss, so they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. See, that's the thing though. Like, why was the son? I get the son was a fuck up, and he was like a Fredo Corleone type of character, but I thought he at least like loved his dad. At the end, he was just like, all right, well, you're us now. We're gonna go take care of my dad. That was to me was a little much. I didn't like that.
Yeah, where's his loyalty? What happened? Out of nowhere.
I mean, that guy was just a fucking scumbag.
The whole time though, he's like family, and my father, and then at the end he was like, fuck your father, and he was like, you are right, Vigo. I don't know why he's Italian now.
He's French in real life. That's Vincent Cassel. He's actually a very big actor.
I've seen him.
Yeah, he did all right in that movie.
Yeah, he was cool. He's my favorite in Ocean's 13. He plays the fucking thief that steals from them. It's pretty great.
That's
First
right.
time I saw him. Yeah.
Never seen it.
Do you think?
So, what did you guys think of this movie?
It was decent for a Christmas movie. Did you guys realize it was a Christmas movie?
Wow, it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, technically it's a Christmas movie, so that's
they
fun.
They named her Christine.
That made a little fun twist to it. That it was a Christmas movie out of nowhere.
This is the worst Christmas movie I've ever seen.
I don't know about the worst, but this is not the greatest.
Name a worse Christmas movie than this.
Better watch out.
Have you guys seen
pretty bad
other David Cronenberg movies at all? Like, have you seen any of his shit?
I've seen The Fly.
Oh, I've seen The Fly.
That's kind of like his like classic shit. That was like
The Fly.
80s. He was more like sci-fi, it seemed, and then it seemed like more modern.
Well,
stuff.
yeah. So he's got a couple like
political or whatever. Because I saw History of Violence. I think was the only other one.
I've seen that too.
He came up in the sci-fi era. He made a couple like psychosexual sci-fi movies. He's kind of like Brian De Palma, where he deals with a lot of like sexual shit.
Yeah, it seems like all of his shit is like slightly over the top when it comes to like sexuality and like violence.
Yes.
I mean, like this movie wasn't really like overly sexual, but it was definitely like there was a lot of like shock violent moments for this movie.
Sells, dude. Yeah. If it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some sex, but like you said, there wasn't like too much over exploitation of like the prostitutes or anything like that. There was just like that one scene where Cassell made Vigo fuck the one prostitute because he was a weirdo. And it seemed like he was the one.
He was getting off on Vigo. He was watching.
Yeah,
Vigo.
he was. Because he's like, prove it to me. Because
was gonna be in the end.
About him being gay.
Yeah, well, that's why. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe he was testing him. Maybe he wanted to see if he was, because he wanted a little Vigo pee-pee.
Yeah.
But
that's exactly what it was.
I thought Vigo was gonna turn it into that at the end, and that's how he would have won him over. Is by like being like, charm. Yo, let's be lovers, and then fuck your dad. He's not going to understand.
Yeah, I can see that.
Call me Ranger. No, nobody else got that.
No, what's Ranger?
No. The gay thing at the end. Like that's what I was thinking. He was going to try to use that against him or to his advantage to win him over. And then that would have given a lot more leverage.
Yeah.
I mean, he already has him. He as much as like that scene where he's like in the basement drinking and he's talking about how his dad treated like the wine for a girl from Georgia, the whole sexuality thing. And then he's down there and Viggo Mortensen is down there, and he's like, and that dude's telling him, like, there's a lot you can learn from me and all this shit, but he knows he's bullshit. Like, that's more of the fucking silver spoon in his mouth. He's kind of rich, never do shit. Viggo Mortensen's a street guy, man. He'll fuck him up. Not only like physically, but mentally too. Like, he's outsmarts him in every fucking way.
But well, he's also undercover there doing that's his job.
100%.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. He had him on his fingers. I mean, I guess that would be pretty crazy if he just like
under my skin. Well, I thought it was a good movie. Do I think it's gonna result in a nice long conversation? No.
Right. like nothing really overly impressed me about this movie. Like, it was kind of just like a disturbing plot. And then like basic gangster shit happened. And then there was like, a little bit of a love story that was low key at the end there. And then it was pretty kind of predictable. And like all the music was kind of basic. The camera was just like kind of typical, like everything. Like nothing stood out to me really, I don't think.
I see what you're saying.
Other than like the violence, there's a couple like shock factors.
I think the acting was pretty good. I thought Viggo Mortensen was great. I thought the old man was great. I thought her family was pretty good. I think it's the character study of the character.
Right.
And I don't think it was supposed to be overly saturated or stylized. You have the Cronenberg there. He has a style. His shit is kind of like shock and awe. You know what I mean? Taking like almost like elevated stories that are kind of unbelievable. Like, is this really a real thing? Is it not? You know what I mean? That could happen. Did you guys notice this? So 2 times in the movie, I think one of them was in the beginning when you're first introduced to Viggo and the son. They go to the place when he's really drunk. They go to the dad's place, his restaurant, and the dad is opening the door and letting someone out. And then dad closes the door and leaves them out there, and they have to open the door with the keys to get in. And then and when they walk in, they're in the same room as the dad. And that happens.
I don't think I picked up on that.
I didn't pick up on that either.
And they're in the same room with the dad.
Oh, I don't know. That sounds weird, but I didn't really notice that.
So he'd be outside,
really?
and then he would shut the door and lock it, and then they would have to come and unlock it, even though they're right there, and he could just be like, "Come on in, boys." Sounds
like bad editing, but maybe if it was like a story point, then I don't know. It didn't really stand out.
That's probably bad editing. Oh, we lost him.
He's gone.
George's internet is real bad.
Yeah, so hopefully he comes back.
I didn't pick up on that. Maybe it's a respect thing.
Maybe
it's
yeah, like that's what I'm thinking. Like
Russian thing.
Yeah, it could be some weird Russian gangster shit that we're unaware of. I'm not sure of the inner workings of the Russian gangster shit. Other than I learned about the tattoo thing, which I thought was kind of cool. Like
tattoos,
you tattoo your rank and your history onto you
and the stars on the knees.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too. I knew there was something about stars and Russian mafia and something like that, but I never knew. I didn't know they were telling stories.
Yeah,
or like that's their life story along the line. I wonder if it's like Yakuza. What do they do? Similar?
Right. Yeah, I don't know much about I know there is part of that with the Yakuza. I don't really know the history of it either, but I do like the story of that. Like that was kind of an interesting learn about the tattoos.
Interesting.
But yeah, I do know that Yakuza also does tattoo shit. I know most Japanese people don't have tattoos because it's like frowned upon.
Yeah.
Because it's like kind of gangster shit.
It's gangster shit, dude.
Yeah.
Can't go there with tats, bro. You're gonna be the coos. Shout out to any Yakuza listening to this podcast. What else? What else about this movie? I just think I thought it was very good, but like you said, nothing stood out. Nothing. I thought the cinematography was good. You know, it was very
right.
It was very good. It was I don't want to call it simple, but it was
I know what you mean though.
It was exactly what it needed to be and nothing more.
Right. I think we're on the same page. Like this wasn't a bad movie by any means.
Yeah.
It just wasn't.
It had all the good elements. It had all the elements to make a good movie. It did have good acting. You know, it had an intriguing story. I watched it and I was intrigued the whole time. I never really lost interest. I liked how it kind of kept going back and forth between listening to the diary or her reading the diary. Welcome back, Schwartz. I liked it the whole time. It had my attention the whole time. But yeah, there's nothing really to write home about, so to speak.
There's nothing flashy about it. I get that, but I think it was an interesting story, and it's like I said, I've never seen a movie that's about Russian gangsters and Russian human trafficking, doing shit like that. I've never seen that, so that's why I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I guess that was part of it. Was like I just didn't really. It wasn't a bad story. It just wasn't like something I was interested in. It was more just like This is kind of a gross world.
For sure.
We're just watching this fucking gross world.
David Cronenberg makes movies about gross things. Like he's a very body horror guy too, and I say that like he used to make a lot of like sci-fi gory shit.
Like, the Fly.
The Fly, exactly.
The Fly's crazy body horror for sure.
Yeah, but he's got most of his movies like that. That's why in this movie, like every time someone got stabbed or throat cut, they lingered on it a little too long, just so that you can kind of be grossed out by it. You know what I mean? That's kind of his thing.
Yeah, the first 2 scenes where a dude gets his throat sliced, and then the next scene was a girl has like basically has like a miscarriage. On the floor.
It's,
like
the guy who got that beginning scene was pretty intense. And then when that touched guy got his throat cut in the cemetery, that was pretty brutal too. It was brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
Disturbing would have been like another word I thought of, like we just kind of or gross. It was kind of gross. This movie was kind of gross. Yeah.
He's got a great movie called Videodrome. Like two of my favorite Cronenberg movies. One of them is called Videodrome. It's in the 80s. It's a James Woods movie. He's in it. And what it's about is a guy who does like, he's like a TMZ type of guy where he tries to find like dirt on people or like shocking things and shit like that. And he comes across a TV channel that's on late at night that just is basically like a channel of like snuff. It's just like people get murdered and like those like Japanese game shows where people have to like go through the obstacles, but like you would die if you like don't complete it and shit like that. And he becomes like obsessed with it. And eventually like he goes insane and he thinks he's like in the video. And like, it's like, it's insane. It's a wild movie. And there's another movie called Crash, which came out in the 90s, starring James Spader, Holly Hunter, Rosanna Arquette, Elias Koteas. And what it's about is it's about people who take car crashes and use them sexually. They're aroused by it. And like, so they like stage real car crashes and like fucking them and shit. It's pretty wild.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
It's weird.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Sounds like that's a weird fucking
I watched
plot.
that when I was like a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't like the last scene them like crash the car and they're just fucking like they're like dying, but then they start fucking.
Yep. They like it's also like bodily horror too. It's like it's pretty great. They stage like real car crashes too, like not the Marilyn Monroe. What's the dude who died in the car crash? The very famous actor. What was his name?
James Dean.
Yeah, there's a scene where they stage the James Dean car crash and like people come and watch it, like it's an underground thing. Like people like, oh, tonight they're gonna do the James Dean car crash, and they actually like crash the cars, and then like the guy gets out of the car. Elias Koteas is like the guy who does it. And he's got like his legs all fucking open, and then he gets jerked off like right there. It's pretty crazy.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And
then he's got another movie.
Sounds fucking wild.
And then he's got another movie
up.
And then he's got I have it on DVD. When I get back, you can borrow it. Drew Liner actually borrowed it. He's got it right now.
Oh, shout out to the big cat.
Shout out to the big cat
right now.
And then he's got another movie called Naked Lunch, which is about a guy who wakes up and he's basically surrounded by aliens, kind of like Men in Black type of movie. And he just walks around New York City all day. Like there's giant aliens everywhere. It's pretty crazy. David Cronenberg makes great movies, and like I said, like he's up there with David Lynch in that category. So he has like 2 parts of his career too. So he did all those type of movies, and then he made History of Violence, which was the first movie he made with Viggo Mortensen, and that kind of changed it up into where he made like crime movies. So he made that, and then he made this, and then he made that other movie. But he also made a movie with Robert Pattinson that came out a few years ago called Cosmopolis, which is pretty cool.
That one as well. Yeah.
Anyway, he's a great director. This was a good movie. When it comes
clearly an interesting director, made interesting movies for sure.
Yeah, but he's good though. He's got like a cult, like Naomi Watts like worked on this movie because
the Watts, she was hot back then.
She was. Wow, very very mean thing to say, but you're right.
I meant I was more referring to her career, honestly, but yeah.
What does she look like now?
Both. But yeah,
I mean, she
probably both.
She worked with David Lynch.
Probably looks the same.
She worked with David Lynch and David Cronenberg. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true.
Naomi, that's I moan backwards.
She was pretty hot in Birdman.
Yeah, she was still good. Yeah, that was only like 4 years ago. She's still great.
She still looks good.
She's married to Ray Donovan.
Oh yeah, I feel like her career I feel like was more big in like the 2000s more than now, but I guess she's still doing shit.
I mean, but she
like The Ring and stuff like that.
The Ring was her like big break.
Yeah, and like Mulholland Drive. What was I think Mulholland Drive was first.
Maybe it was really close.
Yeah, I know they're around the same time. And then I really love I Heart Huckabees, and she's great in that. She's really funny in that.
Yeah. So is fucking what's his face too? Jason Schwartzman. He's amazing in that.
Yeah, I love that movie.
And Mark Wahlberg, like it's a great movie. It's a great cast. Anthony hasn't seen it clearly.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
All right, so favorite scenes in this movie?
Have you? The Huckabees?
No, I don't think so. I think maybe, I don't know. Is that a
favorite
Wes Anderson movie?
No, it's David O. Russell.
David O. Russell? Is it David O. Russell, or is he Irish and it's O. Russell?
David O. Russell.
Copy you. Just checking.
Favorite scenes?
The ding dong scene was pretty crazy.
That's the best scene for sure.
Honestly, I'd have to agree. That was also the best. It was very unexpected, and then it went on very long.
It did.
And I was thinking like,
it was brutal.
This would have been so awkward to film. Yeah. That was good. It was a good one.
But like, what a fight! Like, imagine like he just kept getting stabbed every time the guy came back. Stabbed him again. It's like fuck.
Yeah.
And then but he's a badass. He is fucking badass.
Yeah, that was definitely.
And then they're just like, all right, you're done.
But then that kind of did lead to like the quick, like that kind of led to like the last, act, if you will. Like he got in the hospital and everything kind of wrapped up really quickly after that.
It did. So all of a sudden he was an undercover cop taking over the business. Like all of a sudden.
Yeah, it was very, that part all felt very like, oh, all right, so there's a twist. Cool, I guess.
I like the fact that there was a twist. I didn't mind the fact that we learned very quickly that he was a cop, but the fact that he was like then gonna take over and everything, I thought that happened a little much.
That's a cool idea, but the fact that it happened that quick is weird.
Like they should have showed the kid as like a 3-year-old and then fucking made it happen.
Yeah.
Isn't like
CRONENBERG?
His history of violence? Isn't it something with like Viggo Mortensen's character kind of has like dual personalities, or not dual personalities,
but
history of violence, kind of dual lives as well. He was like was a gangster and then became a family man, and then his gangster side got revealed.
Yeah, it's about a guy who's like working in a fucking just a small town as a cook, and all of a sudden this guy comes in, sits down at the fucking counter, and is like, "Hey Leon, what's up?" And Viggo Mortensen's like, talking to me, he's like, who the fuck's Leon? And then you come to find he just keeps denying it all this whole time. Ed Harris plays the guy who comes looking for him. And Ed Harris got this like huge scar on his face. He got like one blind eye, and he's dressed in like Men in Black. And you're like, what the fuck? Anyway, you come to find that Viggo Mortensen is like hiding from his former self. He was like a mafia dude, and he's hiding out in the movie. He kind of goes after the guys that are going after him. It's pretty violent movie too. It's pretty psychosexual.
It was interesting. Oh yeah, I remember there was a weird sex scene in that movie, like a very very violent sex scene in that movie, which was controversial, I think, at the time.
So William Hurt plays his brother who's the boss, actually ends up being the boss in that movie. He got nominated for an Oscar for it, and he was only on screen for like 1 minute.
Spoiler alerts for whatever that movie was, History of Violence.
Yeah, great movie. Better movie than this.
Yeah, I agree. I like that more.
Yeah. It's a cool story. It's a great fucking story. And it's cool because you're not quite sure what's going on the whole time. You're like, why are they after this dude? And why does this dude not know who they are? And the family has no clue. And the movie's got to do with his family too, like the way it affects the family. Like the son gets involved with it. Like it's pretty fucked up. Pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Have you seen that one, Anthony? Sorry.
I think I might have. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
I know that one's
a couple years ago.
I probably haven't seen it in like 10 years.
If it's anything like this movie, it was probably good, and then I forgot about it.
Pretty much what it was. It's pretty good.
I think it's way better than this movie, honestly. I think it's a lot better than this movie.
Yeah, it's definitely better, but it was like I couldn't remember very well, but I know I saw it. It's fairly forgettable.
Yeah. I was gonna pick it. It's not. It's a good movie, man. It's really good. Both of these movies have very high ratings and very high good reviews, like really good reviews on both those movies.
Yeah.
People appreciate auteurs, dude.
I got a complaint for you.
What's that?
Go ahead.
All right. The language thing, like how they would just switch in and out of Russian and English. Is that normal? because that shit bugged me. Like they just made it like easy. Why don't Russian people just speak Russian instead of like switching to English for us? That shit annoyed me.
Yeah, I mean it's an American-made movie though. That's how it is.
I know. I fucking hate that. That stuff always bugs me.
In the States, I could see how if they're in America,
they are because they are in London. So I guess
I'm sorry, not the States.
Kind of helps.
In a English speaking place and they're speaking English a lot. I can see how they can drift in and out, only because I've seen my dad have conversations with like with my uncles, and they'll jump.
Yeah, I'm not bilingual, so I can't say for sure.
I'm not bilingual, but my dad is. But I've seen him. They'll speak it, and it'll be more like I can't think of a word for that in this language, so I'll jump over to this language. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I can see it. It didn't bother me. It's like, especially when they got angrier, they switched to Russian. Like I could see that.
I guess so.
Russian culture doesn't seem to be good for women, huh? Women are kind of
doesn't seem like it. Oh yeah, doesn't seem good.
No,
women weren't treated well in this movie.
If this movie is the truth, and like the Pussy Riot story.
The Pussy Riot? What?
Pussy Riot, they're female activists in Ukraine.
They went to jail, right?
Or Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember it being a thing.
Yeah.
I guess I thought this movie was in Russia for like most of it, and then I realized it wasn't at some point. So I think that's probably why I was thinking that.
The Americas.
Look, this is in New York, right? Cool. Looks like New York because I'm an American. Cool.
I hear English. Must be in Texas.
What do you say, Schwartz? You want to rank shit? Is that what you want to do?
If you don't have anything else to say, let's rank it. I think I said everything I gotta say.
Let's see. Christmas movie. Tattoo parts were cool.
When it comes to Christmas movies,
shower scene was cool.
The worst Christmas movie I've ever seen.
I've seen worse Christmas movies, but this still wasn't very good. It was, like I said before, it wasn't a bad movie by any means. I just didn't think it was that great. Why did you make us watch this movie, Schwartz? That's a good question.
Because it's a good story. That's
what our benchmark is on making me watch movies now. Is it's a good story.
The benchmark is whatever movie I want to make you watch, I do.
Okay.
That's the benchmark.
But is there like a significance to this movie that we really needed to see it?
Well, I saw it on Peacock, and I wanted to do a Cronenberg movie, and there's not many Cronenberg movies streaming, and I wanted to watch this movie again, and I remember it being a good movie, which it is, and it's got an interesting story, and it's got good characters. And
no one's denying that.
It's fucked up, and that's why I made you watch it.
Just don't think movie. Is it?
You know what it is? Neither of you guys would have watched this if we didn't do this, so I made you watch it, and I'm glad you saw it.
No, I probably wouldn't have watched it. I'm sure I would have. But that's the thing. I'm not like glad I saw this movie. Like I could have gone without seeing this movie for sure.
Sure, but you saw it, so it's good.
He's just happy he made you do something you didn't want to do. That's what he's
No, not that you didn't want to watch this movie. What I'm saying, this point of this podcast is to make you watch things.
It's to make us watch something of value. Of like, is it historically important? Is it cinematography relevant? What makes this movie worth watching?
It's a Cronenberg movie. Who's a great director. Who's made many great movies.
Discussing.
And it's a movie about a subject that there's not many movies made about. It's got some pretty visceral scenes. It's got some great characters, and it's something that people should watch. If I was going to recommend people watch a movie, I would pick this movie. And the fact that you guys
over what movie?
What?
You would pick this movie over what? Like
I get wanting to watch a Cronenberg
it's not a bad movie.
And I guess I'm glad we were able to discuss Cronenberg, but like I think there maybe would have been a better one watch.
There was only one other one streaming, and I didn't like that one. And I think this is a good movie. I think you guys should watch this movie, so I made you watch it.
All right, fine. Fucking Eastern Promises.
Just don't think I just don't think we had a good conversation.
Should have been more interesting, though.
It should have been more interesting. I agree. Should have been a more interesting movie.
I think I said dope shit, so I'm cool.
Have you guys seen? I think I said dope shit.
Yeah,
have you guys seen Rebel Without a Cause? We were just talking about James Dean.
I haven't actually. I would like to see that.
We should watch that one. I'm gonna make you watch Rebel Without a Cause. If it's
all right, cool.
Streaming somewhere, I don't know.
I think it's on HBO.
I think it is actually. Yeah. All right, where do you guys rank this?
Chicky Run, baby.
All right. We'll do the ranking shit.
Oh Jesus!
I wasn't gonna really put this shit high because there's nothing like of value to this movie to me. So I'm going down to like 48 out of 54 films. I'm gonna put it right under Heathers, and then right above Carnival of Souls. That's what I'm doing.
All right, I'm going 23.
23.
Explain yourself.
It's a better movie than the ones that are not 23 or below.
You think it's better than Paths of Glory? Is that what you're placing it at?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, I'm going 20 more than that at 43. Right below Jeff Who Lives at Home. I would rather watch watching this movie. I was thinking I want to watch Jeff Who Lives at Home again.
Wow.
Real low rankings for this one.
Not a good one. Not a good performance.
Not a
from
great
from Eastern Promises.
I mean,
good performances.
Only 1 out of 3 of us has top 30. If you average it out, it's not going to be top 30.
Sorry, out of 55 movies, yeah, we got a 48, a 43, and a 23.
Yeah, that's fine. We've watched a lot of good movies.
We have.
Yes,
true.
I've watched 42 better movies than this one. That's for damn sure. Next movie. Thanks for making me watch movies. Next movie we're watching is Rebel Without a Cause. Last words on Eastern Promises?
Watch it.
Honestly, I wouldn't bother. Go watch a different David Cronenberg movie.
Yeah.
This one's just kind of like, like you said, it's just kind of yucky. It didn't make me feel good. Didn't really enjoy it.
They're all yucky.
All right. Fuck David Cronenberg.
2 out of 3 say watch something else. Thanks for listening to another episode of Making Me Watch Movies, episode 54. Rave reviews for Mr. Cronenberg's Eastern Promises. Next week, though, we have 1955's Rebel Without a Cause, starring the legendary James Dean. Directed by Nicholas Ray. Find that on HBO. Listen to us wherever you get podcasts and follow us on Instagram. Making Me Watch Movies, MMwM_podcast.